Democrats skip town and Republicans unable to hold a vote that could reshape the balance of power in Washington.
These Texas legislators are fighting.
Yeah.
They are fighting corruption, they are fighting racism, and they are fighting rigging.
And the Constitution says the members of the legislature shall show up to do their jobs.
Democrats are in Chicago pushing back. Our Yami Virgin is also there tonight, bringing us an exclusive live report.
And at the live desk from Chicago to California, what the governor there is considering tonight in response to what Texas is trying to do.
News 4 San Antonio at 10. We're here for you.
Good Monday evening, friends. I'm Jonathan Martinez.
I'm Mandy Noel. Tonight, Texas Democrats face mounting fines, and Governor Abbott is threatening to have them arrested and booted from office.
This is all over the proposed redistricting maps in Texas that would give Republicans 5 more seats in Congress. More than 50 Democratic House members left the state, keeping the Republican-led House from moving forward with a vote on redistricting. House Speaker Dustin Burrows issued arrest warrants for the Democrats who left Texas, but it's largely symbolic as it only applies within state lines. The Texas House is set to meet again tomorrow afternoon. They are running out of time, though. The current special session ends August the 19th.
More than 1,000 miles from Austin, Texas Democrats want the world to know some in Chicago are staying away from the Capitol. Yami Virgin is the only San Antonio TV reporter in Chicago following this story. Yami, you're live tonight where legislators are saying this fight is far from over.
That is right, Mandy. Good evening from Chicago. That meeting happened here a few hours ago behind us, one of the Union Halls, and members in here were speaking loud and clear, and they're saying this is much more than just lines on a map. Many are saying, including the Texas delegation from San Antonio, that this is about history, respect, and representation. Now, they spoke out and they didn't hold anything back.
Through the fights throughout the centuries, fighting for our rights, fighting for the right to be understood, to be heard, and to have our way of life respected has always been a core of what we do. That is under jeopardy right now.
What's happening is Donald Trump has asked Greg Abbott to draw him 5 more congressional seats for Republicans. But the way that they're doing that is by attacking our communities. Every single one of us here, they're attacking our community. And I'll tell you how they're doing it. Imagine they take the west side of San Antonio and they draw a congressional line right through the center of it and break it in 2, making their voices weaker and then connecting them with cities and counties and towns that have nothing to do with them. And those folks, the way that it's drawn, will outvote and drown out the voice of our people.
The bravery is gone. Think about it. We pray with the men every day, our colleagues. We say a pledge to the allegiance to the U.S. flag and the Texas flag. We cry, we hug each other to a travesty. We do all of that. But yet, they're willing to hurt us in this way because they don't have a spine. Donald Trump sent them a letter, I'm endorsing you. But we all know he's a user. So he's going to use them. He playing them in the street language. He playing them. He playing them like a drum.
Now, remember, just as you guys just said a minute ago, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, if they don't show up, another $500. And as long as they don't have quorum in the chamber, they cannot take that vote. And tomorrow they will have more press conferences, and we have several interviews scheduled, and it is cloak and dagger. Let me tell you, we cannot go to where they're at. We meet them, like today, we met them at parks, we met them in front of a cemetery, everything to keep the media away from where they're staying right now.
All right, Yami, certainly a developing story. I guess a big question for us locally, who is not there from Bexar County tonight?
Well, interesting that you asked that. We have reached out. The one person that I have not seen here, and I have reached out personally and called him, is State Representative Philip Cortez. I am told that he was not in Austin today, and he is not here in Chicago or in Boston or in New York City. Reporting from Chicago, Yami Virgin, News 4, San Antonio.
All right, Yami, great work.
Abbott's threatened to remove lawmakers from office if they didn't show up. The governor citing an attorney general opinion from 2021 when Democrats last broke quorum.
But can he actually do that? News 4 San Antonio's Mariah Medina joins us live with the answer. Mariah.
Jonathan Mandy, one political science professor I spoke with, called the threat unprecedented, at least in Texas. But as for whether the threat carries any weight, that remains to be seen. Governor Abbott would have to file suit in state district court and have the courts weigh in on whether those lawmakers have vacated their office by not showing up. Otherwise, their expulsion from the House would require approval from 2/3 of the House, or 100 members. But with more than 50 members of the House out of state, that's a tall order. And John Taylor, the chair of UTSA's Political Science and Geography Department, says as much as the governor and attorney general may threaten to, there's no authority that he's aware of that allows either to unilaterally remove somebody from office.
Well, in Texas, it's unprecedented. We saw threats of it in Oregon a few years ago when legislators walked out there. But to answer the question, can he do it? The answer is no. He can make all sorts of claims he wants. The attorney general can pass and can say the same thing. An attorney general's opinion does not have the force of law.
So the only real avenue to removing these lawmakers from office would be through the courts, and that's something that we're continuing to monitor for developments. Coming up at 6, out-of-state lawmakers have non-criminal warrants out for their arrests to be brought to the Capitol for the special session. Who can make those arrests and what leaders in other states have pledged to do? At 6, back to you.
They've left the state, abandoned their posts, and turned their backs on the constituents they swore to represent.
My constituents want me to take this quorum break. It is within our legal right.
We're continuing to follow the latest escalation in the battle over redistricting, with Texas Democrats leaving the state to break quorum and block a vote on new congressional maps. Governor Greg Abbott says he wants the missing House Democrats arrested and investigated. We have live team coverage for you tonight with CBS Austin's Andrew Freeman, hearing from flooding victims about how this will delay flooding legislation. But we'll start with CBS Austin's Abigail Velez, who's live at the Capitol for us tonight. Abigail, it's getting nasty.
It is. That's the perfect way to describe it, Walt. It's been 24 hours since Texas House Democrats left the state, and now we're seeing the full backing of Republican leadership trying to force them back. Now, earlier today, inside of the Texas House, we saw civil arrest warrants issued, and we also saw a protest happening right outside of the governor's mansion.
Members, a quorum is not present.
In an act of protest, the House floor was missing dozens of Democrats Monday, and Republican leaders wasted no time responding.
And if you choose to continue down this road, you should know there will be consequences.
Lawmakers voted 85-6 to approve civil arrest warrants, targeting 57 House Democrats who left the state to block a redistricting vote. But those warrants only apply within Texas.
There's nothing that Texas law enforcement can do to compel these representatives to return to Texas and go to the House floor.
Most of the Democrats have left for Illinois, New York, and Massachusetts, where they can't be touched. Still, that's not stopping Governor Greg Abbott, who's now calling on the Texas Department of Public Safety's Texas Rangers to investigate Democrats for bribery, claiming some may have accepted funds to evade their legislative duties.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Trump and Abbott have got to go. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is a coward. And it's no surprise that he is taking our law enforcement and turning them on our elected officials.
Outside the governor's mansion this afternoon, Congressman Greg Casar led a march of over 100 people denouncing the redistricting plan.
That's why we're going to fight like hell to stop it.
Democrats say the new map would silence diverse communities, adding 5 Republican seats while dismantling minority voting power. To prevent that, some House Dems say they will do whatever it takes.
If I get removed, then I get removed, but at least I am clear in my conscience that I did everything I could in my power to stop this steal.
Democrats argue the governor is prioritizing political maps over flood recovery, even as Texas marks 1 month since the deadly July 4th floods.
This was supposed to be a special session about flood relief.
Now, experts say it's unlikely that any of these Democrats would be arrested or successfully prosecuted. They're expected to return for the next special session, where redistricting could actually be taken up for a final vote. Until then, each lawmaker who skips quorum will be fined $500 a day. Reporting live at the Texas Capitol, Abigail Velez, CBS Austin News.
Democratic state leaders say they're standing strong after Governor Greg Abbott threatened to remove them from their positions and charged them with felony bribery after leaving the state. CBS Austin's Vinny Martirano is live at the governor's mansion for us tonight. Vinny, how are Democratic leaders responding to Abbott's message?
Yeah, Walt, I spoke with state representatives who are now in Chicago. They say they're not afraid of the possible punishments of returning back to Texas, and they're going to stay out of the state for as long as they have to.
We are ready to fight for our constituents, fight for our Constitution, no matter the risks, no matter the consequences.
A battle of time has started across state borders. 57 Texas House Democrats are breaking quorum to block any progress on redistricting congressional lines in Texas. State Representative James Talarico and many other members flew to Chicago last night and plan to stay as long as it takes.
We are committed to killing this power grab in this special legislative session that's going to last for 2 more weeks. If another one is called, then we'll assess what our options are.
After the state representatives left Texas, Governor Greg Abbott called for them to come back by the time the Texas House reconvened today. If they did not, he says those representatives could lose their positions and face potential felony charges.
It would be bribery if any lawmaker took money to perform or to refuse to perform an act in the legislature.
The Texas House did not have quorum today. In a statement, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says, quote, "I am prepared to do everything in my power to hold them accountable because these liberal lawmakers are not above the law." I sat down with Congressman Lloyd Doggett and asked him what he thought of these threats. What are your thoughts on some of those threats he made to those representatives who left the state? And how valid are those threats? Can he remove those representatives from office all at once?
They have absolutely no validity. They only show how extreme Governor Abbott will be in carrying out. He's basically an errand boy for President Trump.
As the Democrats continue to hold out, Congressman Greg Casar says it's important for the Democratic Party to stay strong.
They're acting as our heroes, and they are out there defending democracy, and we've got to be able to back them up.
Now, coming up in a few minutes, Congressman Casar will be holding a rally here in front of the governor's mansion to call out the threats that Governor Abbott made to those state representatives who left Texas just last night. We'll have more on that coming up on CBS Austin News at 6. Reporting live in front of the Texas governor's mansion, Vinny Martirano, CBS Austin News.
Thank you.
The redistricting fight that brought Texas lawmakers to Albany is far from over. And now Governor Kathy Hochul isn't just backing their walkout, she's doubling down on her support, formally laying out her position in an op-ed published in a Texas-based newspaper. Tonight, I take a deeper look into where the fight goes from here.
Republicans are willing to rewrite these rules to give themselves an advantage, then they're leaving us no choice. We must do the same.
After a sweeping display of political defiance in Albany, Texas Democrats who fled their state to block a redistricting vote are on the move again, but they're not saying where.
On the advice of counsel, I'm going to advise them not to disclose where they're heading next.
We're not going back to Texas right now.
That's right.
And we're not abandoning our jobs.
A day after the high-profile visit, Governor Kathy Hochul solidified her stance in an op-ed published in the Houston Chronicle, making her most forceful case yet for why New York may need to change its own redistricting rules. She writes, "This isn't just a Texas issue. When Republicans rig congressional maps in one state, it weakens representation in every state."
To fight fire with fire.
It's difficult to ask New York, California, and other Democratic-leaning states to play nonpartisan while the Republicans play very partisan.
But amending New York's constitution to allow mid-decade redistricting is a sharp departure from the state's stance a decade ago. In 2014, voters approved the creation of an independent redistricting commission designed for nonpartisan mapping.
I think that it's really critical that we keep in mind some of these core principles that, again, protect the rights of the voter and do not benefit politicians and in particular politicians of one political party. It's really important that we approach our response here with caution.
New York Republicans are against the plan, saying it further politicizes a process meant to be neutral.
I hope New Yorkers who support this first time around in an effort to try to take politics out of redistricting reject the governor's efforts.
The governor argues this is about leveling the playing field, not politicizing the process. And the process isn't simple either. To change the state constitution, New York would need to pass the amendment in 2 consecutive legislative sessions, then put it to voters for final approval, meaning any change wouldn't happen until after 2027.